Hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Danae, and I'm back with a message for you. It's such a beautiful rain outside. I'm hoping that you can actually pick up the tranquility of the sounds of the rain. I mean, it's beautiful to look at and it's soothing to my soul right now. So I just opened my window. So I'm just going to do a quick message just to be in the vibe of this essence, this waterfall right now. And I'm gonna just do it quick, like kind of like I used to, not with the cars turned over, but just get a couple out. That's too many at once. Oh, okay. Do a couple. Let's get a couple out, and I'm gonna try to really keep it really quick. Oh my goodness. Okay, okay. Too many. That's too many. Okay. Too many. Got the Death card. We got Five of Swords, Six of Cups. Let's see. Too many. Too many. Too many. Keep those. Sun and the Queen of Pentacles. Well, isn't this lovely? We got the end of some demonic plot, or I should say destructive plot. Not necessarily demonic, but more than likely. I mean, that's what demonic energy is. What it sets out to do, to kill, steal, and destroy, right? So there's the end of that, and when you have the Five of Swords, it pretty much implies that the plot has self-destructed, or the players have self-destructed by their own hand, that there wasn't really much that needed to be done on account of the objectified source of the destruction. Usually when people look to win at all costs, they more or less defeat themselves just by expelling that energetic force alone. So there's been some ending to that plot, and that energy's been transformed and transmuted into some more, because of its ending, it's made way for some new expression of union and community, and procreation and co-creation with the Sun card here, that is definitely extremely high vibrational, highly valued and nurturing, not just unto the very individuals that it is presented to or through, but also it makes it makes a collective impact of sorts, because we know the Queen of Pentacles has a court. You know, it's not just her that her energy impacts or that she nurtures, that the value of her makes an impression on more than just her, you know, other people, places, and things. So there's that. Let's see what else. I wasn't really intending to do more than one line, but that's just seems so, let's see. And there's, the Sun is also exposure of this union. You know, maybe once upon a time it was buried and blocked, and now because of this transformation and transition of power of sorts, it's now being thrust into the spotlight which is the sunlight here, and we're in Leo season, which makes a lot of sense. And it's extremely nurturing and vital for all that all that see it, all that are exposed to it in some way, shape, and form. Like, this love is like contagious. It produces more than just what it presents itself to be. Like, it's not just merely love for love's sake, although it is as well. Yeah, there's a celebration of that union, and it opens up a spirit of expectation for others to be inspired to have that, is what I'm hearing. And that was ultimately the demise of this destruction here. The determination for this destruction here is because of the great inspiration and vitality that this union brings, to the world, or even in the smallest sense, just to the community that it inhabits. There's a celebration of this reunion, whereas people can't help but be happy for this love. They can't help but be inspired by it. And the celebration is because it offers as I said, the expectation that if it's possible for them, it's possible for me. You know what I mean? Like, if this type of love and commitment exists, in this way, then surely, it could be so for me too. And that brings a new sense of hope. And, with expectation, that's a vital spirit to operate in, because if you don't have an expectation for anything, and that doesn't mean what's that word, an entitlement per se. There's a difference between expectation and entitlement. The expectation comes from a space of worthiness, of knowing that, because once upon a time, the absence of this love in the way that it is may have given way to a spirit of hopelessness. If there aren't any good guys out here, there aren't any good women out here, all men cheat, women ain't no good type of thing, or love don't last. Like, those vibrations are diminishing spirits, that don't really bear any productive fruit or prosperous fruit. But to see the example of love and light and in truth and integrity, and that is high valued, by both parties, is to expel a spirit of faith and as I said, a reflection of value for those that are witness to it, that there is some sign of hope for the faith to receive for oneself. If you can't even see, the evidence of it, sometimes it's hard to believe that, it could be true for you. But if you can see it sensationally in front of your eyes, that's a whole nother vibration of faith that gets to be expelled. And then people will be raised to the vibration in which they wish to attract, because they already see the evidence for it. Yeah, this is like wounded warrior energy, looking back at the past and not really seeing much value for the present, let alone the future. That's the vibration that once was expelled, always kind of looking back at your past experiences, but not really seeing any promise from it, And when you're in that position, you can't really be in expectation for anything but more of this cycle, where you may have another relationship or step out in love in some way, shape, or form, but you're stepping out into it with that old baggage and that old instability, that toxicity, that ultimately is just going to breed the same thing that you had contempt for, but the sun is here to illuminate a new way of connecting, a new way of commitment. And it doesn't mean that way is exclusive to that is the standard per se. It's not that this is the way that relationships go, because it's subjective to whomever is connecting to it. But what is true is that it kind of dispels the myths and illusions based on previous defeats, in love and life, and experiences, maybe even failures in that regard. It dispels that energy to make way for new seeds to be planted, new seeds here, so that it's not just the cycle of old continuing to grow over and over again. You're sowing new seeds into good soil, new expectations, and using your past experiences as a stepping stone as to what's of value and what's not. And that's absolutely in alignment with the energetic field that we're in now with Venus retrograde. Taking a look back at your experiences and seeing and taking accountability for your actions, not looking at it all through one lens, but seeing the full scope of life experiences. Like where did I play a role in maybe my own demise? Where did I accept too little or do too much? Where did I fall short in terms of the value that I know that I possess? Where did I lend my value, in an imbalanced way? Where did I accept crumbs, perhaps? Where did I overexert myself just for the sake of saying I had a partnership or I had a love, or just to be accepted and, just to see my value in someone else's eyes in the first place? Like really thinking about your position in love, your actions, really how you've put love into action in a sense, and what that's truly afforded you. What value has it expressed to you, and what value has it expended, of you? That's very much so in universal alignment right now. And being in expectation and with those discoveries still that there is something for you, even as you're discovering yourself or rediscovering yourself or redirecting your energy, that no matter what stage of your journey or, what leg of the journey you're on, there still can be a maintenance of expectation for something good to come your way, because that's what the Three of Wands is. It's a high expectation card. And usually it comes from knowing that you've done some work in some way, shape, or form to be in expectation. All right, let's see. Get a few more, and we really gonna make this sweet and simple. I promise. I think it stopped raining. Yeah, it did. Yep, and that's victory and success. Moving forward, after having left, had maybe even had some understanding of, from that introspective point of view, understanding of some missteps or just some unfavorable experiences. Not to say that they're necessary mistakes, because everything is for our good in one way, shape, or another, even if it's just to learn a lesson. Even the most karmic situations are that much. But taking that energy and transmuting it in a way that maybe turns your pain into passion, maybe turns your pain into power or prosperity, even more so under this Queen of Pentacles, making it valuable to you, allowing it to be valuable to you for you to move ahead in your life in some successful and prosperous way, and still maintaining a pure passion about life all the while, leaving behind this chaos and confusion, maybe the ways that the world would like to keep you trapped and bound in this competitive force, like i.e., feeling like there aren't any good men out there, only a few good men out there, and feeling like somehow you have to compete for that energy, and so you do too much for too little. This is living above that fray, on the fringe of society, as it may be conventionally, and knowing the value of what you have to offer, what you bring to the table, as we like to say, and standing on that, and knowing that you can live in a space of expectation for someone or some things or some place to meet you or greet you with that energy, because you are completely in tune to the value that it is, not in relation or reflection to anything else, as we often are conditioned to be or do, whichever one makes sense. All right, let's see what else we got here. I was going to get some words. That's too many. I was going to get some words, but I just really want to get in and out right now. So, come on. So I'm going to just do my little pyramid or whatever. Take a sip. Let's see what we got. Okay. I'll take both of these. All right, we got the Page of Pentacles. We got the Magician. That, to me, that's actually speaking to what I was saying, like being able to transmute energy. Taking something that seems like a very small offer and magnifying it, multiplying it. Something that may be, it's small but it's mighty, so that life experience, even in this way, because Venus is also about money and making money, taking a life experience that may have been a tumultuous one, or may have been a destructive one, may not have been so pleasurable or pleasing to the senses, but taking that energy and manifesting something that is going to be forwarding and lasting and even prosperous from it. That void that you may have experienced as a child, or in a relationship, or in the workforce, or whatever it is, it may seem small. The point is, it may seem small to you, but it can be great in the grand scheme of things, especially when it's fueled by your passion, when it's magnified by your passion. And that could be a lasting dynasty or livelihood that you could build for yourself. That affords an overflow of emotional fulfillment, of spiritual fulfillment. It may start off very material and run through, all the tests and trials of time by way of your transmutation of the energy itself. And what do I want to say? Alchemizing that energy. Literally, that's what this is giving me. Like, literally spiritual alchemy, to take something of one element and by the power of your will and your might to make it something completely else. A small experience that you have reconstructed, and now it's an overflow, an endless wealth of fulfillment. It could be even love, to take for maybe a small proposal for co-creation, or small proposition for a business, or collaboration. And once you become attached to it and add your magic to it and your spin on it, it becomes a wealth of an overflowing well that never runs dry. You know what I mean? Literally takes on a whole new shape and form just on account of you adding your brand of magic to it, because of the life experience and expression that you can add, that no one else can. In the magician's position, like, that's a power that only you could possess because of your very special set of skills and very specific life experiences. Don't hold that small. That's very sacred and sound resource. It's like gold, really and truly, that you have to offer and that you bring to the table in any potential commitment or connection. So definitely regard it as something sacred and value it highly, as the Queen of Pentacles would, to really be the like the secret sauce is what this is giving me for anything that you would be connected to. And so when you have that even in the relational aspect, when you have that mentality of worthiness about yourself, and we're not talking about the magician and the lower vibration where you're being manipulative. This is about your special divine magic, like the uniqueness of you that is unlike, that's not like anyone else, and that holds high value. When you come to the table with that type of energy, it makes way for love. First of all, you become an attractive force for that, back to the energy here where you know what you're worthy of because of the life experiences that you've overcome, because of what the value of what you bring to the table. And you are standing in that truth and operating in the integrity of that truth. You become an attraction for that truth. And then you have this here where the universe can really pour into that vessel individually and collectively, especially in divine union, where the universe is happy, as a matter of fact, source is happy to pour through that vessel as a conduit to pretty much, expel the highest source of energy, the highest force, the highest vibration of life force through your being. That's where this expression of inspiration comes from. Right now we see a lot of couples, well, we have seen, I think it's really changing, but we have seen a lot of couples being exalted for fake lifestyles, for this projection of love, fraudulent projection of love and prosperity, or just inflated, maybe not all the way fraudulent, but just inflated projections of love and prosperity that continue to fuel these illusions that ultimately do lead to death, because they pretty much are spewing propaganda for the pursuit of material gain, and even for the sacrifice of self for this ideal, to sell this ideal of union and relationship and, power couple essence that is not only a detriment to the ones that are perpetrating the fraud, but also to the ones that are watching, that are, just sopping it up as truth, as pure gold, when it's actually not. And so then they try to go recreate that blueprint in their own lives, only to fall to their own demise on their own sword, ultimately, because the source wasn't solid. The source wasn't viable. It was tainted, and it wasn't real. But this is the opposite of that, the total octave of that, especially aligned here under the sun, where individuals that are in alignment with themselves and the brand of magic that they possess are then a magnet for that expression that the divine can just pour into, that it can bless really and truly, like those couples that are really doing it big because their love is in alignment, so that they always seem to be winning. You know what I mean? And when you're really, really winning, that's sustainable. Like when you're winning on the inside out, it doesn't even matter like how many cars you drive or what cars you drive or what kind of house you have. But when you're really operating in the most magnificent vibration of love, that is very contagious. That is very impressionable. That you could love it or hate it. It might even incite some jealousy and envy, but it still makes an impression and an impact in a very powerful way that is productive to society, because it's going to empower more people to, at least when they get over themselves and the envy and jealousy, to be an expectation to recreate some essence of that in their own right, not to have what you have, but to do it for themselves, and to be encouraged that it is possible to have such a thing, that it's not fake, it's not phony, it's very much so a high possibility. So I could stop it there, but I just want to finish this pyramid. No. That was the devil trying to pop out, but it was too many anyway. So get your ass up out of here. That's not the vibe we on right now. High vibrations only for this one, please. And thank you. We already put a death to that energy at the top. So, yeah. Yeah. We're moving forward. And that's that faith, those faithful new beginnings on the horizon, those possibilities where you don't know where it's taking you, but you can have faith in it because you know what your intentions are. You know, your intentions have been purified in such a way that you trust the universe with your existence and wherever it's leading you, because you can trust yourself. The universe loves to pour into that, give you whatever you need for your journey, whatever resources will help keep that vibration going away from this, or the end, actually, you know, most importantly, the end of those cycles of betrayal, you know, the end of dead-end love situations, the end of dead-end energetic vibrations where you may even be portraying yourself, voluntarily committing to cycles that you know don't bring you any value or bring you any life satisfaction in any way, shape, or form. That's what this Ten of Swords is representing to me right now, because the Fool card is actually walking away from that. He's going in the opposite direction. And that's exactly where true love leads. It leads on new fantastic journeys, like every day could be new, you know, if you allow it to be. Or each experience that is created is a fantastical one in a sense, because of, as I said, the intention that you have to go on that journey in the first place, in the way that you trust yourself, trust your partner, trust your discernment to know who to align with and who not to. You don't have to be wary of betrayal and envy and defeat and demise, and you know, there are new levels and new devils, of course, you know, which is why that devil tried to pop out. But this is you on a vibration and on a timeline that positions you to kind of be in discernment for those energies as they present themselves. Like, you don't have to walk faithlessly or hopelessly about, because you've already gone through the proper cleansing channels to present yourself, you know, as a being that can take on anything, you know, and that has stood the test of time, seen a lot of things, done a lot of things, to know what's in a high vibrational alignment with this love energy that you're in, which is why it's important to cultivate it in the first place, because you can ultimately recognize anything that's in the adverse to that easily, quickly, and immediately go the opposite way. That's what that's giving me. Immediately, like, it won't even be a second thought. It doesn't mean it won't present itself, but you'll immediately know exactly whether it's a yes or a no for you, dog. Literally, there's a dog in that picture. Oh yeah, here's the King of Pentacles to end my pyramid. Thank you, Spirit. I hope you can see him down here. Yes, and the King of Pentacles is, you know, he's the high vibration of masculine energy of the Queen of Pentacles. He matches her vibe. He matches her flow. He's dependable. He's a nurturer in his own right, but he knows how to make money and not let money make him. He knows how to maintain material wealth and value. He knows his value in every sense of the form. And a man that truly knows his value, and we're not talking about high value in the way that it's been sensationalized. We're talking about a man that has been tried and tested by fire and knows his value, you know, that knows what he brings to the table literally, and can recognize high value in another woman or man when he sees it. You know, that's a very powerful masculine force to be and to have, to partner with. in this time, just as much as the Queen of Pentacles. And that's the vibe that you want to be aligning with. That makes all the sense of what I was just saying, like someone that literally is a reflection of you. And it doesn't mean you have all the same interests and you always agree, and that you both only see things one way or whatever. You know what I mean? There could be some points of dissension along the way as people, but it just means that your intentions are always well aligned to create the highest value of life force in the world and to co-create in that essence as well. And I just think that's a beautiful thing. If it's available to you, I hope that you receive it, and I hope that you perceive it as a reality and an expectation for yourself, even if it has not physically manifested in real time as of yet. Continue to be in spiritual expectation for it, even as you are cultivating the very essence yourself, because it's ultimately what you deserve. It's your divine right to be in a reflective vibration of love, the divine love, source fueled love, the highest vibration of love that you can possibly perceive, is your divine right to be, do, and have ultimately. Let it be so in spirit and in truth. It is so, and so it is. Till next time, peace.